You know, life and careers are changing faster than many people can even keep up with. One example, more than 6% of computer science graduates are unemployed, a number that is higher than in past years. With AI doing so much of that entry-level work, people are left trying to figure out how to be successful. So entrepreneurship is one option that allows you to decide what works. Director of Development for UNF's Business College, Garrett, joins us this morning. You know, many of the questions that I'm asking right about now are about artificial intelligence and how this technology is really just changing everything. So when you think about entrepreneurs, how is it helping and maybe even in some spaces hurting this industry?
Yeah, so...
welcome, by the way. I'm sorry, I dived right into my questions.
I appreciate that. No, of course, yeah. No, well, you know, AI is everywhere we look, right? So in the entrepreneurship space, what's interesting is you're seeing about 46 to 53% of all venture capital is going toward AI companies. And it's kind of funny because almost every company now says, well, we're an AI company because it's so hot right now. So you're seeing those dollars go there, which is interesting. And a lot of times you're seeing that because these companies can scale so quickly.
Right.
It's not like starting a car company where you have to, you know, you parts and labor and all these different things like that. You can really scale very quickly, and people realize that, and they want to get a piece of that pie. Yeah.
How does that work though? Because when things happen quickly, a lot of times we see that only a few survive, you know, and then the rest are left kind of like out of luck.
Yeah. No, that certainly. Yeah, may happen. Yeah, I think everyone's trying to find that next, you know, that Uber, that next Netflix, that next, you know, that next startup that's going to be a global phenomena. And yeah, I think you're going to see people lose money, but that's why I think it's important to be plugged into, you know, resources around town that can help you be wise with where you're putting your dollars, and if you're starting a company like that.
Yeah, and I wonder about partnerships right now. I imagine those are like so important to kind of get connected to the right people. Yeah. So when we see these kind of startups, what are we seeing? The ones that are the most successful, both here in Jacksonville and even nationwide? Yeah,
I think you're seeing a lot that are plugged into to those partnerships that are plugged into, you know, I represent the PS27 Foundation here today, but PS27 Ventures is a local venture capital firm, and they don't just invest money and pull out. Like they're here to help make sure that investment sees an ROI. And then you have other resources around town like Small Business Development Center, SCORE, nonprofits like that, or the Jax Chamber. So plugging into those networks that can support is huge.
Yeah, let's talk about PS27 and the foundation. This is an organization that provides financial and educational resources to folks that are trying to get started. In a couple of months, you guys will celebrate the wins of this industry. So we have 3 people who are the finalists for the Entrepreneur of the Year. So tell me more about these 3 guys.
Well, here they are. Yep. So Matt Cheng, really involved in the community in a number of ways, but Cheng Robotics does some incredible work in automation and AI. You know, as we're talking about AI, automation and robotics and healthcare and manufacturing and different spaces where they're making huge differences in those areas. Yeah. Robert Dahlstrom, different kind of technology, drone technology actually, that is helping with pressure cleaning and painting and these things that
so using drones instead of people to get up there and clean these real tall buildings.
Yeah, and I love what they hit on. What he really highlights is the safety, how the impact it has actually on people, that he doesn't want to see another you know, fatality from fall.
Hanging on a building.
Yeah, so this mission that motivates them is really cool. And then Andrew Rush is a cool story, a UNF alum, which is cool. But Starcatcher, this is actually his 3rd space startup, founded right here in Jacksonville.
See, a lot of people don't even
And people don't even realize that. And actually, and Starcatcher is really interesting because they want to put a power grid in space to essentially solar power for satellites is what they want, the infrastructure for that.
All right, and those are those finalists.
And these are our finalists, and just incredible, really different, but all kind of in the technology, really innovative spaces.
Let me ask you one other question. So if you are in 9th grade and you're thinking about, you know, maybe a senior, and you're like, what am I going to major in?
Yeah.
What do you tell students?
Yeah, I think, man, huge question. Love that. Yeah, I mean, definitely technology is going anywhere, but what's cool to see is really technology is in everything. So we're in the College of Business, or I'm in the College of Business, and we aren't, you know, the computing school, but gosh, we have kids learning to code and learning data analytics and different skills like that. So I think plugging into to technology and being a continuous learner, because it changes every day. We're seeing different changes in those tools.
I heard the new skill is to learn and then learn, learn and then learn, because that's really what's happening now. All right, so let's talk more about these awards, because they are coming up next year. So you have an opportunity, January 22nd, St. John Event Center at 6 p.m. You can get those tickets, PS27 Foundation.org. And I'm telling you, it is so inspiring to see some of these ideas on the ground floor. And there'll be lots of winners at this event. So maybe you will find your next and be inspired. Caleb, thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.